Hey friends, Lucian here with the Bullish Bears team. This video is going to be about how to scan for penny stocks in the pre-market to build a watch list going into the open. So what you need to do is you need to have a good scanner that scans for volume in the pre-market. So volume is the buying and selling of other traders. So it's not always a fast rule, but the more volume of the stocks that are happening in the pre-market, the more traders' eyes that are going to be on it going into the open, right? Because you want to trade with penny stocks and doing day trading, highly liquid stocks. That's with any type of stocks or type of trading. You want to be able to get in and out of a stock. So when you hear the terms highly liquid, that's a lot of volume, right? Because you want to be able to get in and out of that position. And typically the higher the amounts of volume that go in and out of the stock, the better the bid-ask spread. So typically you'll get better entries. That's not always the case, but typically the more the volume, the more the eyes, the tighter the bid-ask spread. And so you're not going to be overpaying, for getting in. So it's not, that bid-ask spread is not going to be so wide. Now I'm going to show you how to do this in a couple moments, but some things to be aware of are you don't need a ton of stocks to keep an eye on. A handful or less, 3 to 5 stocks to keep an eye on at open, and then you want to use your scanner at open to see what else is running, because typically or many times what you're looking at during the pre-market may change at the open. That's why scanners are really important, because they pick up the volume, the momentum. There's breaking news, pre-market, stuff like that hit the other scanners, and then that creates the volume, the buying and the selling. And that's why it's critical with any type of day trading to use a scanner to scan for momentum, right? You scan for the momentum, you see the patterns, you learn the patterns, you find the right pattern or two that is your favorite to trade. You stick with your plan. You don't have to trade a million different planners or million different patterns. With day trading, things like flags, ascending triangles, pennants, very popular to trade on momentum. You watch for those sharp moves up, look for a pullback on a flag, and look to go in on those breakouts. So something like this, like kind of an ATNM, quick move up, kind of move back, right? You have this flag or this pennant pattern right here. So you can kind of do it like this, or you can kind of do it like that, flag, pennant, whatever you want to call it. Nice bull flag up, pull back, you can trade the breakout and then look to take profits, right? So that's, again, I'm not showing you how to trade pre-market here. I'm just kind of giving you an example. You're looking for these stocks that are moving up on volume in the pre-market. So I'm going to show you here. Trade Ideas is our favorite scanner to use. They're really awesome, really highly customizable. They're a paid scanner to use. You could also use Thinkorswim. You can adjust it. It's decent. You can find some decent ones in the pre-market. Many times you'll find certain ones that are on Trade Ideas within Thinkorswim. So if you're starting out and you're on kind of a lower budget, you can tweak your settings within Thinkorswim to find stocks that are running as well. We have our scanner settings for all of our scanners inside of our next level library. So if you want to get access to scanner settings and stuff like that, upgrade your membership to our next level and you'll get access to our scanners. So when I go over here to Trade Ideas, and you'll see I have a whole, this is kind of the gappers in the morning. So you'll see when I kind of go down like this, you'll see right now it's 8:55. The market's not open, so the high day scanners and stuff are not hitting. But you'll see certain ones that are kind of hitting right over here on different charts that we have set up, or different columns that we have set up for different things that we look at. Again, we give you this scanner inside of our next level library. But over here is what we're going to do is just pay attention to the morning gappers right over here. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of double click on this and I'll expand it, and you'll see it's kind of a whole bigger screen. You don't have to look at all this stuff. We add this stuff for some people that like it. But typically I look at symbol, so what's running, the price, the gap percentage up, and then kind of float if you're, in short float, stuff like that, and then volume, right? So you want to see a lot of volume. Pay attention to the float and the gap percentage. So let me break down some of these columns here first for you. Specifically volume and float. So higher the volume, the more traders that are trading it, the more traders' eyes that are on it, right? So typically you want to have at least a few 100,000 in volume, but when you start getting 1 million or more or several million or more, this is really going to catch the eyes of a lot of traders. So immediately I start to look in over at these ones over here, right? And then you start to look over here under float. Anything under 10 million float is very volatile. Low float stocks, very popular to day trade. They're also more risky, right? Doesn't mean you don't trade them. They're very popular to trade. Just be aware of kind of that term, pump and dump. Even though it's got a negative connotation, pump and dumps are the most popular thing to day trade, right? It's just being aware of buy low, sell high. Don't think that stock's going to go to the moon and go forever, right? That's why with day trading or trading in general, learn the patterns, determine your risk management, and then get the proper entries, and then you buy low, sell high, right? Whether you're doing day trading, swing trading, it's all the same. It's just faster with day trading. So again, with float, anything under 10 million, very low float. Under 20 million is low float. And then when you start getting 50 million or more, it's kind of more medium float. And then anything over 100 or more is when you start getting higher float. So basically, it's just the quicker the moves, right? Lower the float, the higher the volatility, the quicker, more volatile the moves, the more price moves within a candlestick. So the candlesticks are bigger, typically. And the higher the float, it's, less of a move, less money within the candlestick. Again, it's, some people like trading low floats, some people like trading high floats, and other people don't care. They're just looking for the price action, and they'll trade the bull flag breakout or the ascending triangle breakout. But you just got to be aware of just with the float, that's going to also determine your profit level. So when a stock breaks out, with a low floater in a 1 minute candlestick, it might go up $1, $2, $3. Whereas on a high float stock, it might only go up 30 cents, right? So that's why it's important to realize when you think, or if you see it about to break out, be aware of what your profit can be on that trade. And that's why it's important to not just listen to everybody, oh, something's going to the moon. Well, where's it going? Where's the support and resistance levels? Very important. Now, other tools you can use are like Benzinga for breaking news or other breaking news sites. So you can just be aware of when a stock has breaking news, both good or bad, then, other traders will listen to it. Then they'll either enter or exit a trade, and then that creates volume, and then the scanners pick up on the volume. So other people use Benzinga and other breaking news tools. I just personally like using just a scanner like Trade Ideas, looking for volume, and then if I'm day trading, searching for those bull flags, ascending triangles, right? Look for those pullbacks, and I kind of just scan through these. Now, typically with day trading stocks, it's stocks under $10, maybe up to $20 or so. It's not a hard, fast rule. It's all depending on your size brokerage account. But right off the bat, it kind of gives you today, a handful of stocks right away to look at. Lots of volume, several million, and low float right over in here. So these are ones right off the bat that I would look at, and then I look at kind of ones down over here. But these four right off the top, I would go and look at. So now let me go over to TD Ameritrade. I'll pull up, a chart over here. Let's see, LIXT. I don't know. I don't see LIXT is not on this one right now. Let's see if any of those other ones are hitting it. BDSX. Yep, so BDSX is on there. What else? ATNM and INM MB. ATNM is right there, and I don't really see INMB. So you'll see TD Ameritrade, sometimes it picks up other ones, sometimes it misses them, but it's got a couple of them on there. So if you want a decent, free one to start, it kind of gets you in the ball game right here. So again, if you want our scanner settings, we have them in our next level library. So all I'll do at this point is kind of, I'd build a watch list. So I would go over here and, whatever platform that you use. Actually, let me just go over here. I'll come up over here and go to create watch list and go watch list 4-12, hit save. And then just because something is running doesn't mean I put it on my watch list. I'm going to watch and see what the patterns are doing first. So something like ATNM, I would map out my pre-market highs and lows. So kind of high, kind of low, or previous day right down over in here. And then I kind of just map out kind of these levels right in here, these peaks and valleys. And you'll see kind of a head and shoulders pattern forming at the moment. But again, lots of volume. And then I'd look at a daily chart, kind of go over here, see what's going on. It's got up to $8. So it does have room that it can still run. So I'd look at these areas back over in here, map out previous resistance levels, kind of right over in here. Give you an example. I'm not going to map out all these for you, but when I go over there, I can see this stock still has room to run. At the moment, it's got a head and shoulders pattern, but lots of volume. And then I would just draw my kind of my angular support, kind of angular resistance, kind of a rising wedge pattern at the moment. But I'd put this one on watch, right? So I would see if this stock continues to go up, I would look at these levels of resistance right over in here, right? So I would put down ATNM as one that I would watch. Now remember, you choose your pattern that you really like to trade. I'm a bull flag guy. I really like those moves up, those bull flags. I get cautious when things are near head and shoulders patterns, but other people will trade head and shoulders, or they'll trade something like this. They'll buy off of angular support or down right over in here. Not really a right or wrong way to do it. The right way, though, is to obviously manage your risk, right? So again, just because something's on a scanner doesn't mean you go and trade it. You watch it, see what happens. It's 9:06. There's another half hour or 25 minutes until market opens. So let's pull up BDSX. So BDSX, that's one right over here. It had that another kind of head and shoulders pattern, but you'll see there was highs up over here. Right up here. So that's it. I'm just kind of mapping out kind of pre-market support resistance levels, those highs and lows. I'm not doing them perfectly right now. And so you'll see this one had a really nice move up, and now it's kind of just dropping back down, right? So we kind of look at some support levels down over in here. So again, lots of volume, kind of meh at the moment. Maybe I'd put it on, but I like those ones that are kind of just humming up along, kind of really moving up. So for me personally, I don't really like this one. But then there's other traders that are like, hey, Lucian, I don't like your style. I like when they just really fall and dump back down for those reversals as they've hammered off of support. Great, right? Again, trade your style, not anybody else's. So let's go over to LIXT. Let me just X out of that. LIXT. So you'll see this is a big boy. This one really gapped up. So a lot of people keep eyes on this one. You got to be aware of halts, especially when a stock goes like this, $1 up to almost $4 and comes back down. So this is where you got to be very careful. You don't chase halts and you don't chase these stocks way up here. If you miss the move, you miss the move. Or when after it opens after a halt, if it halts, watch for the pullback and look for a possible re-entry. But this is something I would definitely keep an eye on because a lot of traders are going to keep an eye on this one. Lots of volume. So again, that's a 5-minute chart I have pulled up. Kind of zoom in on a 1-minute chart right over here. So you look at those bigger patterns, you look at a 5-minute intraday, then you kind of zoom in on a 1-minute, and then I like the microsecond charts as well. Other people will like level 2. I like the visual using microsecond charts. But TD doesn't have microsecond charts, so I like using e-signal. TradingView is good as well. So LIXT, I would look at this one right over in here, and then I would kind of just do this, kind of map out angular support and watch it. Again, this is a watch list. It's not a trade list, it's a watch list. All right, so kind of just map out this levels down right over in here, kind of down over in here. And so ATNM, LIXT, and then let's just kind of go over to, oops, I hit the wrong button. And maybe I'll just pull up, INMB doesn't have any real volume right now. So I got those 3 top ones, and then let's just kind of come down right over here to BCDA. And this is the last one I'll look at for now. So this one had a really nice move up, and now it's kind of really tanked back down. This is what I typically like to watch for. This is my style, right? Those bull flags up. Move up, and then you have the pullback down, trade the breakout. Pull back down, trade the breakout. And then maybe down over in here, kind of move back up to previous resistance. I really like these two right over here. I like those bull flag breakouts. Smaller risk, trade the breakout, and then you can look at previous resistance levels to take your profit. Right? So if the stock was looking like this right now, right over in here, and not looking over here, this is one I'd really like to look at, kind of like that's humming up and looking for those bull flags. And then I can just kind of draw my trend lines like this, right? See if price goes up, moves back to the trend line, those bull flag breakouts. But that's kind of it. I just really wanted to show you that it's very important to have a scanner scan the pre-market. TD is not bad. There's tons of scanners that are out there. Trade Ideas, we really love it. It's probably one of the best paid scanners that you can use. If you want to start off on a free one, TD is not bad. But the whole point being is scan for volume. You'll see shares over here with TD Ameritrade. They don't have a low flow button. They have shares. Shares are shares outstanding. It's similar-ish to float. Basically, shares are a little bit higher than what the float number is. So it gives you a good gauge, right? So, you'll get a good understanding here. If you see, 22 million, it's probably whatever, 17, 18 million with TD Ameritrade. At least you'll know it's a lower float. Whereas if you see up here 49 million, it's probably in the 40s. It's kind of a medium float stock. So you can scan it down with shares with TD Ameritrade. So it's still not bad. It kind of gives you the same idea. And all you're trying to do in that pre-market is just kind of scan, see what's happening. You'll see this one, AGLE, went up, and it's just kind of tanks back down. You'll see this one right here, kind of a pattern ATNM, kind of that rising wedge. So kind of see if this kind of hums up and keep an eye on it. So at least that's the thing, is it's got room to move. So if this one continues, there's profit in here if it continues to move up. That's why I like looking at ATNM. LIXT again, kind of just, this one makes me a little bit leery at the moment, right? But just kind of going through these one, BDSX, this one's kind of trading sideways. CYCC went up, trading kind of sideways. F, wasn't too bad, and then you see a candlestick like this. That's why you got to be careful with trading the pre-market. So that's where, if you don't have money you're looking at, that's okay. Wait for the market to open, and then watch for volume to come in, and then you'll see other stocks start to hit, and then you'll start to see this gray area is the pre-market, the black area is the open. So then you'll start to see either ones you're watching explode or tank or trade sideways, or new ones, then new ones will start coming in and hitting the scanners, and then you'll see the volume happening. So that's it. That's just a basic way to scan for stocks to day trade at the open. This is with penny stocks. If you want to do it with any style stocks, you just change the dollar amount, right? So you'll see with my pre-market scan, this is kind of some lower price ones. Just change the pricing on your scanner and search for higher price ones, right? So hopefully this video helped you, and we'll see you in our community. Enjoy.